Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the PattyLynn Show. And I'm PattyLynn, and I'm in Vancouver, Washington. And this is Mariah Young, my friend and CEO of Gals.
Hello.
And she is in Utah.
Yep. Saratoga Springs.
Saratoga Springs. So we are happy to be here together and together with you as well. Tonight's topic is April showers bring May flowers. Have you heard that saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to kind of delve in and see what that means. And then, of course, we're going to have some connection conversation to start. And then I do have some party tips with PattyLynn for us. And I just keep thinking of all these party tips. So many.
I love it. I love it. And conversation. We're going to actually have PattyLynn conversation cards. So
yes. Conversation and connection and all those things. So I'm very excited about those. So let's get started with a little connection here. And I think maybe just something funny. This week, one of my kids is at a wedding. So I would ask, have you been in a lot of weddings, Mariah?
A few, yeah. I've been to a few. Yeah.
Before I was a bride, I had been bridesmaid 7 times.
Oh.
So all my friends got married before me. Wow. My cousin and yes, everyone. So the question is, what is the worst bridesmaid's dress you ever had to wear? I feel like right about the time I started being in weddings, they didn't have the terrible ones too much anymore.
Yeah. I've actually only ever had one and it wasn't that bad. So yeah, I've been to weddings, but I've only been in one other than my own.
Well, my hope is that people who were in my wedding aren't saying it's when I was in PattyLynn's wedding. That was the worst.
What were your bridesmaids' dresses?
Well, they were purple, of course.
Of course.
And I bought like a whole bolt of this crushed, wasn't velvet, it was like a velour. Mm-hmm. And then I just said, make your own dress. You know, we all thought that that's what we did back then. We all sewed our bridesmaid dresses. So it was common. Like nowadays you'd think, what?
I was like, wow, that's a demanding bride right there.
Yeah, no, it was common. A lot of us had done that. Okay. And so, yeah. And so then, make your own style, just,
I love
matching colors. And it was kind of a new thing because nowadays they have that, but it was like cutting edge in 1990. You know what?
You're like, I'm not saying.
You don't want to say it. So long ago. Anyway.
So everyone just had a different dress then.
Yeah, which they do now all the time. But until then, before that, it was all very matched. Everyone had matched dresses. Yeah. So, and I think I really didn't have a bad bridesmaid dress either. They were all of the style of the time. So I wouldn't wear them now.
Yeah.
So one was a little satin slip dress with a lace overdress.
Ooh.
Well, I was not going to wear it anywhere other than the wedding, but it wasn't the worst. I mean, it wasn't bad, but you wouldn't wear it again. And one was one that was really sewn as a costume. Oh. So it was like silver lame on the bottom and black velvet. Oh. And it was just kind of a pillowcase, slip-on dress, just very simple. They sewed them. And it wasn't even hemmed. It was just nicely sheared at the bottom.
Oh.
It's so much like a costume. So you're not going to ever wear it again. But we were beautiful up there. Yeah. So I don't know. I can't say that I had a worst one.
I'm curious. So we've got Don Renee here. Hey.
Hey, Don Renee.
I'm curious if you've had a bad bridesmaid's dress.
Don Renee. You had to wear.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a touchy subject if someone's going to hear it and they go, wait.
That's true. Maybe
both my sisters, again, we sewed all the dresses, but one was a spring floral and I wore it a lot after that. Kind of, the old gunny sack style. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then the other was just like it was a winter wedding. It was a long sleeve, that again, kind of a velour, but
oh, pretty
textured dark green. And I wore it all the time. So
velours totally back in. You might be able to pull them out.
Yeah, they're gone. Actually, the floral one, after I'd worn it in college, then my little girls played dress up in it.
Oh, fun. Very fun. Yes. Little girls love that kind of stuff. They don't care. I love it. So Dawn Renee says she's never been in a wedding. So there you go.
Oh my. Okay.
Hi, Michelle. And then she says, other than her parents in the early 80s, blue and white checker country chic. All right. Cute. I bet she was darling in that. Did you wear cowboy boots?
I do like when there's like cowboy boots at the wedding, or like my daughter and her husband wore Converse wedding Converse. They were so cute.
Cute. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. Well, I think we should just jump in because big topic, lots of notes. In fact, I'm going to kind of look at the notes just kind of to make sure I get some of these topics. But I want to just think now, here in the Pacific Northwest, we have had a lot of rain. And I've even been kind of looking on other parts of the country, and there's been storms, thunderstorms, and big gusty winds. And so a lot of these April showers, and more than showers, kind of storms, right? And just the other day, we had the sun pop out, as we often do here where we live. Right. It's spring, and so we'll have rainy and cold, and then it'll brighten, and the sky will be blue, and then maybe half hour later, we're getting hail or something crazy. I love this. I actually love the spring for that.
Yeah,
kind of fun. It's fun in the spring, but when that blue comes, it is just so joyful. Just like, and especially after the winter, which has been long and gray, and, it's nice to have that sun pop out. And so this is also saying more than just the obvious, if it rains in April, you'll get flowers in May. This is talking about our things in our life, and after long periods of adversity or troubles or poverty or hardship or betrayal or job loss or grief, those things that hit us. And I'm sure I'm not alone. 2020 was hard. It seems like it was very recent. It's been 3 years, people.
I know. It doesn't seem that far away.
No, it's still like a couple years away, and it was hard, but better days are coming. And you've heard another saying, which is, "This too shall pass." And so that kind of is the same idea. So we have, April showers bring May flowers, and we have "This too shall pass."
Yeah.
And there's another one that is from, a lot of people have said it. It's very popular. It originated with the Greek philosopher Aristotle. And he said, everything has a reason. So have you heard that? Everything has a reason. It's very popular. It's a very popular saying. And I have want to talk a little about this because it's kind of the, why do we have these showers? Will they bring May flowers? So it's kind of the everything has a reason, that there's a reason for the showers, and I don't think it's a perfect analogy, but it really is, I think, said to give hope and meaning to the hardships.
That's good. Pharrell has a song called "Rainy Days," and it's about the contrast and why we have it, because the sun shining through, it helps us to really appreciate it.
Yeah. And we live in a world where tragedy happens, there are hard things. And if not with us, then just look across the street or in the next country. There are hard things happening. And so it helps alleviate the pain of the situation. We're not blaming the situation, but that loss is not meaningless and allows us to start to heal.
That's good. That's good. And I feel like we are starting to see that from 2020. People are finally like, okay, I'm tired of being tired of it. And let's see people. Let's go do things. Let's live our lives.
Yeah. And then another thing that really helps is reflection. So as you replay the situation and just you look for perspective and meaning and the advantages, and one day all this will make sense. And going back to Aristotle, he called this achieving your highest self through conscious insight. So you can experience peace from your past.
Nice.
And I think that's something we can get stuck sometimes. But a deeper sense of purpose. It's really the spiritual side of human experience to say that everything has a meaning. And for me personally, it's my faith in God that gives me that meaning. And I don't know if everyone knows this verse, but all things work together for good. And I was even watching a Netflix show. Did you ever watch Manifest?
No.
It was about it. It had 4 seasons. It was about an airplane that went through turbulence and came back 5 years later. Okay, so 4 seasons of that, and it got really a little crazy about all the things, right? It got crazy. I watched it though because
like I can't turn away.
Yeah, but one of the things they kept saying is her mom had always said, all things work together for good. And she had a pillow that it was embroidered on. And they just look at each other and they go, all things, that they could not put meaning to it, but they had faith that this somehow would work together for good, right? And that doesn't mean that all things are good. There's definitely bad, but there's a bigger plan or a master plan, and that we can trust in God's goodness and power and plan and journey together through it. And I think that really brings that peace and contentment, no matter your circumstance, to know that there is a plan and a good and wise planner, and nothing can separate us from that. So that's how I understand everything has a reason, because I've kind of been like, how is that really? And I think for me, everything has a reason, but more resonates, all things work together for good.
I like that. Yeah, because sometimes it is hard to understand like why we're going through these difficult things, and we're not promised it's going to get better right away either. I felt that way in 2020. So here we go back to 2020 again, but it was like one thing after another, after another, after another. And you're like, when is this going to end?
I know. And we said this too shall pass, but then we're like, but when? And I was researching how long do pandemics last,
Yeah.
I'm laughing now, but it was not funny.
No, it wasn't funny at the time. And Dawn Renee did respond to what you were saying. She says she is ready to achieve her better self. I love it.
Better and better every day. I agree. Me too. Me too.
Yes. I love that.
So there's another saying, going with all the old proverbs this time, that every cloud has a silver lining.
Oh, who said that one? Do you know?
So I think it's an old proverb. It was quoted by this. I have a quote here, but a Yale professor, Paul Bloom, said I think it's not so much of an intellectual need, but an emotional need. It's very reassuring to think that when bad things happen, there's an underlying purpose behind them. There's a silver lining. There's a plan. So probably very succinctly saying what I had just been saying.
Right.
He's a professor at Yale.
Yeah, there you go.
But it makes sense of the chaos.
Yeah.
So another thought here that I wanted to say. Oh, and then of course at the end, I have my top tips.
Yay.
That all start with the letter P.
I love it.
So we'll in summary.
I love it.
So that old Greek philosopher I've been talking about, Aristotle, said the universe is always changing. And guess what? You are too. So that's part of becoming your better self. But we are always learning and growing, and we're changing. I don't want to be who I was 5 years ago.
Oh, heck no.
No, and I don't want my relationship with my friends or my husband to still be stuck where it was 5 years ago. I want to be learning and growing and having new adventures or new sides of me that I'm.
Yes.
Yeah. And part of that is the change is through the setbacks and the lessons that we learn through any hardships, through those rainy days. It teaches us things, and we grow. And so these events plus our actions is the person we're becoming.
I like that. It makes me think of, on a smaller scale, our fireplace wall that we've been working on. Yes. We have had so many difficulties with it, and just, trying to get this perfect and that in, and that didn't work, and this measurement wasn't right. And we learned through it all. We've grown a lot in what we can do. And I mean, minus a mantle, we're almost done, and it looks
it looks great.
So, I think it's that way in everything in life, right? We have to have those issues, situations.
Okay, here's another old saying.
Yes.
Hindsight is 2020. So you heard that one, right? So, the next time you do a fireplace mantle, you're going to know things, right?
Yeah. We might do new things, but yes.
Right. So I have a quote here from Steve Jobs. Do you know who he is?
Oh, yes. Apple
we all know.
Founder.
So he says, you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down and has made all the difference in my life. So again, it's looking for that meaning, right? Yeah. And that we can't see it now, right? We can see it in the past. And it makes a lot of sense for me. And I've tried to explain that even to my kids growing up, just when you're in the middle of something, it's hard to see the plan, but there is one.
Yeah. I'd say the calm of the storm, but it's not really. No, when you're in the middle of it, it's not the calm of the storm. It's the craziness and chaos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And you can also train yourself to see the chaos as a turning point or as a choice, right? It's an intense moment. It can be a transformative time, right? So you say, okay, I'm getting new challenges, but also new insight, or I'm taking a new direction, right? You might get that aha or eureka, right? That you figure something out. Oh,
yeah.
And you may not have achieved that had life just been easy and rolled right along.
Yes. So good. So good. We call that in our company, the 48 Days Company, problems. We don't call them problems. We call them opportunities for solutions.
Yes.
And what does this make possible?
I'm laughing because I was talking once and my big sister told me, people don't like the word problems. Like, it's a good word. She's like, no, people do not like try not to use the word problem. We have a problem.
Right. Yeah.
No problem. There's an opportunity for, what was it?
A solution.
An opportunity for a solution.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so just thinking how we respond, bad things do happen, whether it be that breakup or job loss or death or grief. And, just remembering that life is our most precious gift, believing that, everything happens for a reason, right? It will bring healing and courage to face it. So strength in the burden. One thing for me is, I think I've said this before on the show, but when I was in my 20s, I really thought, you know what? I was pretty happy with my life and felt in control of making decisions and things like that. And I just said, I don't want to have any regrets. And that really sounds like a good goal. Who wants regrets? Right? Nobody wants regrets. But I came to realize that's not realistic, because you would have to always make the right choice.
Right.
To not regret. And there's things you don't have control over that I might feel regret over. That is not really in my power. But I might regret the situation, right? I wish I could have changed or controlled that outcome.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing because it's not easy to live with regret. And I think that you have to have some kind of closure and maybe forgive a person who prevented you from going to someone's funeral. I regret not going, that's one of
Mhm.
mine.
Mhm.
So maybe forgiveness, or maybe forgiving yourself, or just understanding I didn't have what it took in that moment. And I think we can still wish things went different. So it's an acceptance of it did happen, and I'm a stronger person, I'm a better person. I sure would do it differently. And I wish it didn't happen that way. But now, if I'm going to make a different choice, I'm
Mhm.
going to empower myself to make that choice in the moment, and to maybe take the time in a pressure situation, say, I need to make a good situation here.
Yeah.
I've lived long enough that I know if I make this decision right now, it may not be the best one. So I need time to process, or I need wise counsel, I need to pray about it, I need to journal, I need to, whatever you're going to do, take
Mhm.
that time to make that decision that you can live with. That even if you think, well, would have been better the other way, but I made the best decision I could at the time.
Yeah. It's good. Can't beat yourself up forever about it.
Yeah, I know. So, but
Mm.
I think those, the word have to roll with life.
Mm.
And there is beauty. There is beauty that comes from maturity. And whether that's through the hardships, through those April showers bring flowers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's good. All right.
Well, I have my tips, but I'm going to take a little break here and talk
Okay.
some party tips.
Yeah.
So I touched on this a little bit briefly last time, but Mariah and I were talking with some of our other directors about having a craft night. And I thought, let's talk about how to have a craft night.
Yay.
So sometimes you might think, well, okay, I'll have to do a paint and sip, and I got to get some wine and appetizers and teach painting. Well, you could, but you don't have to. You could have blank canvases and everyone do their own thing. Everyone's got an iPhone, or pull up your own picture and paint it.
True.
Or you don't have to have the supplies for them. You can say, hey, I'm offering a space for crafting.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And I've actually gone to a lot of these, whether it be with a women's group or just a friend group, or, and some, I haven't really done the organized paint, sip and paint popular thing. I haven't done that, but I have done just like a knitting night.
Mm-hmm.
And we show up with our project bag, and whether we all bring a little snack or the hostess just sets out some muffins and tea, or something.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really need food. It's just
Right.
it's just nice. And in preparing, you don't have to have a super clean house. I say cleanish. So
Mm-hmm.
pick up, wipe up, cleanish if you didn't dust. You're
I
gonna
like
be
that.
okay.
Cleanish. That needs to be a sticker.
Cleanish.
Cleanish.
That's what I say. Cleanish.
Yes.
And then maybe find out, oh, someone is going to bring a sewing machine. I'm going to have a table ready for her.
Mm-hmm.
Or I know my friend scrapbooks digitally, and so I want to make sure she has an outlet and has the Wi-Fi password or whatever she needs to work on that. And we've done that. We've gone to the beach, and one of the people had a house, and she's a scrapbooker. And I brought my knitting, and someone else just brought journaling. They walked on the beach and did journaling.
Yes.
So yeah, but anyway, it was so how to have a craft night. Where do you find the people? Do you got the people already?
Yeah.
So word of mouth. I ask my friend, she asks her friend, who maybe asks her friend, and a friend of a friend is a friend, right?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So someone at work that has commented on your knitting or something, and you're not really friends yet. You're coworkers, but then you
Mm-hmm.
can say, "Hey, do you want to come over, bring your knitting? We can knit together." And I think we all want that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to keep bringing it up, but especially after 2020 and the COVID
Yes.
separation, we want to all come back together. And so,
Yeah.
really, just be bold, invite someone, say,
Yeah.
and it kind of gives a purpose, and they might say, "Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do," and then you could say, "Well, I bought this diamond dot kit, and I don't know if I'm going to do it. You want to come try it with me, or
Good idea.
Or well, let's meet at Craft Warehouse and pick up a puzzle or something. And we'll just go pick up. They have a little craft you can just buy.
Yeah,
A
I
little
love
painting
it.
kit. They have a
Yes.
little embroidery kit. They, if you want to try something, they have those.
Yeah.
So
And then you don't feel bad if you don't keep it and do anything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I was going to, oh my gosh, I had in my hands ready for your PattyLynn.
I could have got my pom. I also have pom poms.
Forgot about it. Dang it. I actually meant to mention it to you too.
I had to move them out of the way to record this. They were in my.
Oh, missed opportunity. Next time.
Next time's going to be so much better.
I'll be like, have your pom poms ready. It's time for PattyLynn. I love it.
So, how do you all feel? Empowered to have a craft night?
Yes. I'm doing one.
Yeah, I know you are. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what ours is. Ours is just bring your own, or I have plenty of craft stuff. We could definitely throw something together.
Yeah. Well, I'll make it. It's only a 15-hour drive.
It's like
I've made the drive before.
Yeah. Yep. I love it.
So, okay. So that is the party tip. One certain kind of a party that you can have. Keeps your hands busy. There's always something to talk about. It's lots of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So before we conclude here, I pulled together the top tips for turning showers into flowers.
Nice.
Yes. So I call these flowers sweet peas. Do you like sweet peas? Sweet peas because they all start with the letter P.
All right. Sweet. That's cute.
So the first one is perspective. So your perspective, everything has a reason. The next one is purpose. So that's the all things work together for good, or there's a silver lining. So there's a purpose. The next is peace. So embrace your experience. Pearls. So this is the pearls of wisdom. So learn and grow and glean insights.
Ooh.
The next P is the power of choice. So move on in an empowered life. Okay, so then prepared. So cultivate wisdom. Right? You kind of know the past. You might know what you might face again. You cultivate wisdom. Be prepared. Progress. Be the best version of you. Always in progress.
Yes.
And then the process. So taking time for introspection. So journal, meditate, pray, seek counsel, but it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have patience on here, but that'd be another P. Right? Through the process, have patience.
Yes.
I can't count myself. Preciousness of life. It's the next P. The next sweet P is to be positive. Just to choose that silver lining. So much of how you see life and your mental health depends on, are you looking for the positive or are you focusing on the negative? And the last P, the sweet P, is proceed. So just keep on going, right?
Nice.
We just keep going.
Yeah. Yep. Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Yes. So I hope that this has been encouraging and helpful, and that you've had fun with Mariah and I. I know we always have fun together. So
Yes.
and I hope that you've heard some positive skills for practical skills for positive living. They're also positive, but
That's right.
practical skills for positive living here. And that you will just reach out with questions or anything that has struck you that we would love to hear. For those of you who are able to join us tonight, thank you so much. It's always nice to chat here, and just continue to give us a note if you watch it later. We love to see those come on up.
Yep. And then if you are watching us from my Facebook profile, please feel free to share this with anyone that you think might need to see this, or both. If you're watching from YouTube, make sure you come and join us in the Facebook group. We have a lot of fun things happening. In fact, PattyLynn and I just started a really great welcome sequence with Fun Mail.
I know.
Yeah.
I was going to show something, but I don't want to give away all the secrets. So yes, so we are, part of our connection is that we have some mailings that we want to send out, and just to connect and encourage and fun.
Yes. Yay. All right, guys. Till ladies, gals.
All right. See you next third Thursday.
All right.
Bye.